Okay, so for the next one, we're going to go ahead and create the carriage. Carriage is probably the hardest part in this model to do, which is fine. We'll walk through it. So I'm going to select in the plane. I'm going to go ahead and just sketch in my carriage. Just something, what I'm doing right now is I'm outlining the carriage itself. For the wheels, come down, and I'll go ahead and I'll throw the dimensions in after I get done with it. So I got one step up, another step, another step. So I should have 3 steps. I go across the top. I'm going to click OK. I'm just going to draw a circle real quick. I'll just put it right there. I'm going to do another line from this end point over to that quadrant. So what I'll do is I'll trim this now. So right there is my part. Granted, don't make much sense because I still got to throw some dimensions on it. So let's go ahead and 0.75. Got a little bigger. Let's just keep going around here. So from here to this line, it's 0.75 or 3/4. Same thing here to here. We'll type 3 divided by 4. Just keep going down the ladder here. We'll do 3/4. This one next. We'll do 7/8. Now we don't know the length of that, so I'll leave that blank. But let's go ahead and throw the overall length over here in and make that 4 1/8. So right there's our part. Now let's go ahead and make these 1/4 inch tall. So let's go ahead and select this line, do 1/4. Select this line, 1/4. Select this line, 1/4. So right there we got it. Let's throw this radius in here. Radius is 3/16. So we got that. Let's keep going here. Now we know the base of it is 7/8. So from here to here, we'll type 7 divided by 8, which makes this look really goofy. So we'll just drag that over. Now let's throw a dimension on top of this, which shows that it's 3/8. Let's do a horizontal constraint. Say this point here to this point here, so it brings it up. And we're saying that's 3/16 tall. So if I come over this way, type 3/16. Okay, now that we have all this information, we really should be able to try this over. So if we select midpoint to midpoint, that's going to drop that down. We'll say midpoint to midpoint, that'll drop that up. So then, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So we're going to select this side to this side. 7 divided by 8. It's going to look right, so let's slide that over there. So then we're going to go ahead and select this top line here. Same thing, so we're going to go ahead and type 3/8 there. We have that. And then let's go ahead and, well, the heights are all the same. The whole thing moves together, so that means we just need 4 dimensions or 4 constraints. I'm going to do a vertical. Ooh, I'll put that there. And notice I messed that up. So let's go ahead and constrain that horizontal with itself. And let's constrain this horizontal with itself. Let's do this constraint there to the midpoint. Now it's fully constrained. So once I have that, I'm going to hit finish. I'm going to do an extrude. So I'm going to select that. Now the overall width of the carriage part is 2, so I'm going to select 2. And I'm actually going to come up here, hit home. I do not like this view, so I'm actually going to change it to look something like, I'm going to orient it how I want my home to be. I'm going to make this my home, so I'm going to select that, pull this down, so current view is home, fit to view, so go home. And I'm actually going to make this, let's look at, spin this around. I'm going to say set current view is front. You'll see my front just changed. So front, left, right. So I have that now. So next thing I need to do, and this can be a little tricky, is I'm going to go ahead and create a sketch and create on this surface. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create the whole part to cut through. So I'm going to do a rectangle here. I'm just going to bring it all the way over. In doing that, I'm going to do a project geometry and bring this up to the top. So when I bring it up to the top, it's all in one plane here. So then, I know the overall width of my hole here is 1 1/4. So I'm going to select this line to this line, type 1 and 1/4. So I have that. Now I'm going to do a vertical constraint from here to this midpoint. And I'm also going to go ahead and just do a vertical constraint from here to here. So they're on top of each other. And now I know I need it to be centered. So it's constrained from the midpoint, so I'm good. So if I hit finish sketch, what I can do is I can actually do an extrude and do a cut. We're going to cut into the part. I'm going to cut down a distance of 1.75 minus 1, so really 3/4. Right there's our part. So now what I need to do is I'm actually going to create a sketch on this surface to notch that out. So I'm going to go ahead and draw another rectangle from here, and it should be fully constrained once I put it in there. I'll just do a constraint here real quick. Midpoint to endpoint. Now it's constrained. I'm going to finish that and do an extrude. And so if I do, we'll do another cut. The difference is now is I'm going to do 7/8 minus 3/8 minus 3/8. Do all the math for us, and right there's that little cut there for us. And so next thing we need to do is on the other side. So we're going to do a create 2D sketch. I'm going to spin this around so I feel like I'm looking at the tail end of it properly. I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. Since I know this is going to tie line in here, I'm actually going to do a project geometry right here. Oop. I'm going to do a project geometry on this line here and this line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw a line, bring it down. Oop, I'm going to draw a rectangle and bring it down and bring it down. So once I have that, I can go ahead and create my little notches here. The 3/8 is the same width for the whole part. So if I come here and I do here to here, and I type 3/8, I have that depth of it because that's typical for this whole thing. And then I'm going to do a vertical constraint, selecting this midpoint to this midpoint, this midpoint to this midpoint. That's fully constrained. I'm going to hit finish. I'm going to do another extrude. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to do a cut. And it's the same thing, 7/8 minus 3/8 minus 3/8. Click OK. And right there's that part. All we have to do now is go ahead and create a cut on the bottom, right down here, and we'll be in good shape. So if we do create a 2D sketch on this surface, now the difference is we're actually going to be cutting all the way over here. So we're going to do this project geometry. Select this line, select this line. We're going to go ahead and do another rectangle, random spot to random spot. What I actually do, we could do a constraint from here to this midpoint, since it all ties together. Ooh, I did project geometry. I'm going to do a, go back to my sketch and do a vertical constraint. This point here to this endpoint, and then this point here to this endpoint. Ooh, there we go. So now we have that. I'm going to finish that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that up. I'm going to do a extrude. Oop, select the right one. Select that. Do a cut. Now we're going to do 1 minus 3/8 because that's the thickness of the base. Finish that. And right there's that part. So once we have that, that's it for the carriage for right now. You can go ahead and save it. And we're done with this part. Oh, nope, I take that back. We gotta put this, put that material in there. So I thought something didn't look right. We're gonna select that. We'll do a rectangle. Select here and bring it over. And we'll put a distance here on this surface to this surface. And we will make it square 3/8. And let's do I'm gonna pull this up and do another constraint. We're gonna do a horizontal constraint, midpoint to endpoint. And let's do the other side while we're at. We'll do a rectangle, that endpoint over. I'm just going to do a vertical constraint, selecting that midpoint to that midpoint, and then horizontal. I'm going to drag that up, do a horizontal constraint, midpoint to endpoint, finish that. I'll just do an extrude now, and we're going to do that variable extrude. So the first distance, since it's highlighted, we'll make that 1/16th. And then we'll go to the other one and make that, we'll do 3/8, oh, 3 and 3/8 minus, because you got to take that whole minus out, and do 5/8 minus 5/8. And if you want to check yourself, what you can do is you can spin it around, do a distance, and we'll make sure that this plane to this plane is 1/16th, which doesn't appear to be right, because it should be 0.063. So we'll come back to this extrusion here, and we're going to go to the end and minus 1/16th. And now check it here to there, spin it here to there. So now it has that. We'll go ahead and create another sketch on this plane. And then we'll do another project geometry, because we're going to do both circles at this one. And so we're going to do a circle midpoint to midpoint, bring it over there. Same thing here, here to there, select there, there. And then we'll just do a tangent constraint. We'll select this surface to there, this surface to there. Now it's fully constrained, because all sides have to be tangent to define a circle here. Now it's encased. We'll hit finish. Now we'll do another extrude. So, select that one, select that one. We'll do all the math here. We got 3. Oh, we got to do the variable one. 3 and 3/8. Actually, that's just 5/8 for that one. 5 divided by 8. Over here, we'll type 3 and 3/8 minus 5/8. Hit finish. Let's check that out. Looks pretty good. So we got that. That's it for the carriage, finally. Oh, we can check that measurement real quick. Here, that plane to that plane, 0.6258. If we go to our calculator, 5/8, 0.6258. So we're in good shape. So that's it for this drawing model.